Hello everyone, welcome to Whole C Programming in one video tutorial by AH Career. Myself Atish Jain. We'll take you from the basic programming to advanced files concepts in such a way that all the concepts of C programming are implemented in one single program as per real-time project requirements. Means there are no chapters or no lessons in any of the programming language. From the training perspective, and for easy learning, we have divided them into different modules. In case of C programming, it's like introduction to programming, sequence, selection, loops, arrays, strings, functions, pointers, structures, and files. But we are going to learn all these concepts in one single program, one by one, as per real-time project requirements. So the journey will be quite interesting because we are going to see how the real-time industry works. So let's start. C is the most commonly used programming language. C is known as mother of all the languages because most of the modern programming languages like Java, C#, Python are derived from C programming only. If anyone who wants to build their career in software industry, then they need to start with C programming. So now let's begin the programming concept. So to write a C program, we need an editor and C compiler because we all know that computer understands only machine language. So the program what we are going to write, that has to be converted into machine understandable code. And this compiler is a special kind of software which converts the source code into machine code. So to write C programs, we'll be using some IDEs, and all these IDEs internally makes use of some compilers to convert the source code into machine code. So we'll be using C free IDE to explain all the programs in C language. You can make use of code blocks IDE also. So what I'll do is I'll give the URLs of C free IDE as well as code blocks IDE below the description window. So you can download any one of the IDE from these two and you can start your programming journey. And the C free IDE is a paid version, so I'll be using the trial version of C free IDE to explain the program. Okay, so here is the C free IDE. See, once you start the C free IDE, this is how the screen will look. So to write a program using C free IDE, you can start with a new file, saying file, and here you can say new. So the editor is open and you can observe the title bar here, it displays the file name. The file name it has displayed is untitled1.cpp. So untitled1 is the default name of the file and cpp is the default extension. So from this we have to understand that this particular IDE supports C programming as well as the C++ programming also. As we are working with C programming, so what I'll do is I'll save the file name with .c extension. So I'll go for file, save, and then I'll give the file name as hello.c. So now the program will be saved with the name hello.c. You can observe on the title bar of the screen. Now every program should have comment lines as the first line in the program. Comment lines are mainly used to know or to provide some meaning to the program. Means what the program is meant for, on which date it has started, what is the objective of the program. So this is the information we are going to provide as a part of comment lines. So in this C free IDE we can use /2 to write the comments. And now I'll write the comment as this is a sample program. Okay, so whatever you are writing as a comment line, that will be ignored by the compiler. Means compiler is not going to convert these comment lines into machine understandable code because this is especially for the user's sake. Next, to write programs in C, we need to make use of n number of library functions. Library functions are nothing but the special functions which are provided by the compiler, and all these library functions are stored in special files known as header files. So for every basic programming we need one standard input output file. So the file is stdio.h. So the statement is #include. #include is the keyword which includes the header file into our program. So I'll say #include stdio.h. Next, a C program comprises of many more functions, and every C program should have one main function, and that is main, and all the code what you are going to write as a part of this program should be included in between the curly braces. Next, my first function will be printf. Printf is a function which displays output message on the screen. So printf, in double quotes, write down the message whatever you are going to display on the console. I'll say welcome to C programming, and every statement in C should be terminated with semicolon. Now once the program is written, then you can click on this icon which will compile and run your program, or you can go to build and you can say run, and see here, this is how you get the output, like welcome to C programming, and one default message, press any key to continue. So if you want to display this particular message in the new line, then at the end you can say /n. /n indicates new line. Now again you run the program and see the output. See here, press any key to continue, message is displayed in the new line. Okay, so this is the very basic simple program. Now see, whenever you want to develop an application for a real-time industry, then such application works with large amount of data. Okay, so to understand the concepts of data, we'll be writing one sample program. So the scenario is like this. Suppose Mr. Rakesh is our client, and he is running a retail store, and he wants to have a billing software to generate bill for their clients, and his requirement is something like this. Like if a customer comes and purchases 2 products from him, then the application should generate a bill for the 2 products purchased. So from this requirement we need to understand what is the exact input. So the input is the price of the 2 products, and what will be the output? The output will be the total bill amount of this particular 2 products. So to work with data, we need to work with data types. So in C language there are many data types like int, character, float, double. So as and when the programming journey goes on, I'll be introducing different data types. Okay, so now I'll be using integer data type and 2 variables like P1 and P2. So P1 is nothing but price of the first product, and P2 is nothing but the price of the second product. And I'll be using one more variable saying BA. BA is nothing but the bill amount. Now you can say printf enter price of first product, and say scanf %d comma ampersand of P1. See, scanf is the function which reads keyboard input. Now you write one more statement, enter price of second product, and read the price of second product ampersand of P2 here. So once the input is completed, now we have to generate the bill. Say BA equals to P1 plus P2. Now once the calculation part is done, now you print the bill amount. So I'll say printf, and I'll use /n because I want to display the result in the new line. So I'll say /n bill amount is %d comma BA. So while displaying result on console, we need to specify the data type also, that what kind of result we are going to display. And as we are going to display the integer value on the screen, that I have specified with %d. And again run your program and see how it works. Enter price of first product, I'll say 67 rupees. Enter price of second product, I'll say 90 rupees. And see, this is how it displays the result. But see, every time the requirement may not be same. Sometimes the requirements may change. If our client says that he wants to provide 7% discount on the bill amount, then the same program has to be modified as per his requirement. And to explain the discount part, I'll be introducing float data type. So I'll say float, and dis is the variable to calculate the discount, and FA is nothing but final amount. Next, once if the bill is generated, we can say discount is equal to bill amount into 7 divided by 100. So the discount is calculated. Now I want to calculate the final bill amount. So I'll say FA is equal to discount, FA is equal to bill amount minus discount. And now we can say final bill amount is, and final bill amount variable we have taken in float type. So to work with float data type, we'll use %f, and you can say FA is the variable. And if you want to display discount also, then you can say printf again /n discount is, and say %f. Why? Because discount is also we have taken in float type. And if you want to display that print, press any key to continue message on the new line, then at last you can say printf /n. Now I'll run this program and I'll show you the output. Let's have a look. Now the price of the first product is 100 rupees and price of the second product is 200 rupees. Let's have a look. See, now total price is 300 rupees. On that 300 rupees, if you calculate 7%, then it will be 21 rupees, and the final bill amount will be 279 rupees. Is it clear? And this is known as sequence programming. Means all the statements from top to bottom are executed one after the other. No single statement is skipped. You can see right from line number 1 till line number 24, each and every statement is executed, and this type of programming model is known as sequence programming. See, every time for every customer the requirement may not be same. Sometimes the store owner wants to provide discount only if the customer bill amount exceeds 1000 rupees. Means here discount is not provided to each and every customer. Discount is provided only those customers bill amount exceeds 1000 rupees. So in that case we need to introduce a new programming construct, that's nothing but selection programming. That's what we call, also called as conditional statements. We have to work with conditional statements. So if and else are the two keywords which are used to work with conditional statements. So here by using this if and else two keywords, totally we can create 4 if else programming constructs. That is simple if with else statement, multiple if, and nested if. So in this case the requirement is the store owner wants to provide discount of 7% only if the bill amount crosses 1000 rupees. So here I'll give a condition like this: if the bill amount is greater than or equal to 1000, then what are all the statements you want to execute, put inside this curly braces. Means I want to calculate the discount, then final amount, print the discount, then again final amount. These 4 statements should be executed. Okay, curly braces close. Else I don't want to provide any discount, so we'll display the bill amount as it is. So I'll say bill amount is %d comma BA and followed by semicolon. Now let's see how this program works. I think there is an extra curly braces we have. Let me remove this. Okay, now so run your program. Enter price of first product, I'll say 400 rupees, second product I'll say 100 rupees, and the bill amount is 500. Again run this program, and this time I'll say the price of product is 700 and second product is 300. Now see the output here. Output is varied in both the cases or not. In this case the bill amount is 1000, so 7% discount is provided, and that goes to 70, and total bill amount is 1000 minus 70, and the final bill amount will be 930 rupees. And this is how we work with selection programming construct. Now the different programming constructs are there, like multiple if, nested if, and those can be used as and when the program logic demands. Now I'll explain you one more scenario where if the customer wants to generate bill for 1000 customers, then we have 2 choices with us. One is run the same program 1000 number of times. Other one is write 1000 programs, and both are tedious and complex tasks. So C programming comes with a programming construct called repetitions, which is also known as looping construct. Means whenever you want to run the same logic for more than one number of time, then it is always recommended to go with the looping constructs. So there are three types of looping constructs available. One is while loop, second one is do while loop, third one is for loop. We can use any one of the construct as per our project requirement. So to explain this, what I'll do is I'll make use of while loop. And while working with looping construct, we need to maintain a counter variable that counts number of repetitions whether we have achieved or not. So I'll say count, and initial value of the count will be 1. And what are all the logic you want to repeat more than one time, that you put it in while loop. Say while and count is less than or equal to. See, if I say 1000, then 1000 times the program will be executed. Means 1000 times the loop will be executed. So to explain the concept in simple way, I'll say count is less than or equal to 3. Next, start the floor bracket and put the whole logic whichever comes into this category. That's the thing, but whichever you want to execute it more than once. So input statement, okay, and this if condition, everything I have kept inside the while loop, okay, including this else statement. Now close the braces. Fine. So after executing the statement for one time, means after printing the bill for one customer, what I want to do is I want to display a new line statement /n with an underline. Again, after underline, whatever the new statements are generated, that has to be displayed again in the new line. Means once if the underline is printed, that is the bill amount for first customer. Again it will ask, it will prompt for the second customer's product price. So a new line will come with an underline and the program will go on. So we have to increment the counter, because once if the bill is generated for one customer, then we have to increment the counter variable to count plus plus, and here we are checking for the condition every time. So whenever the counter variable reaches to 3, then our program will be stopped. So run and check the output. See here, enter price of first product 300, second product 200, second product 300, and this is the output. Enter price of first product 1000 and second product again 1000, so we got discount this time again. Next 500, again 500, we got the discount and program has stopped, because we have given the counter target to 3. That's the reason the logic is executed for 3 number of times. In the same way, you can give 300 and 3000 or 30,000 also. This is what actually the power of looping constructs is. So till now, whatever the programs we have seen, in those programs we are just focusing on the programming logic, and we have never focused on the program's data. That's nothing but we have never focused on the volume of data. So let me explain through an example what is this volume of data. So every customer won't be buying only 2 products. Why? Because different customers will have different requirements. Means you take the example of departmental stores like D-Mart, Reliance, Walmart, that's nothing but best price. So when a customer goes there, he may buy n number of products, not only 2 products, he may buy 20 products or 200 products as per his requirement. So we should develop our application in such a way that the application should read price of n number of products, and it should finally generate the bill for that. So to explain this particular programming model, what I'll do is I'll just remove the previous program code and freshly I'll type each and every line step by step to explain this programming requirement. So we'll start from scratch. So I want to read price of 2 products, for example. Then I'll declare the variables like integer p1 and p2. If 3 products, I'll say p3. If 4 products, then I'll say p4. If 5 products, then I'll say p5. See, if I want to read price of 100 products, then declaring 100 variables to read data is not at all the recommended programming practice. So in order to work with this kind of requirement, C language comes with a concept called arrays. Yes, the concept called arrays. So what is an array? See, array is nothing but a variable, but it is different from the ordinary variable. Means ordinary variable reads only one unit of information, but whereas arrays can read multiple units of information. Means one array variable can read multiple values of same data type. So here our requirement is to read price of n number of products. So I'll declare a variable with the name p, start the square bracket, and at the time of developing your application, when you are not sure that how many product prices you are going to read, so depending upon the size of the business, you have to declare the array size. So here in this case I'll say integer p of 100. Means this application is capable of reading price of 100 products at a time, the max. But if the business size is too high, then you can declare 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh as per the business requirement. But every time we are not going to read price of 100 products. Okay, so that may differ from customer to customer. So I'll declare one more variable called size to know that how many products price I want to read whenever the application runs. Okay, so this is the size variable we have taken. Now I'm declaring one more variable called I, which is known as index variable. Why? Because we all know that in array all the elements are stored in consecutive memory locations, and the first location is identified by using an index 0, and the last location is identified by using array size minus 1. So in order to access those array locations, we need a variable which is also known as subscript. So for that purpose I am declaring one variable with the name I. Okay, next, and to calculate the bill amount, I'll declare one more variable with the name BA, and I'll initialize this one to 0. Okay, so this is my variable declaration part, and as and when the program goes, okay, and if I feel if still more variables are required, then we'll declare it. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to prompt the user saying how many products the customer is buying. So here I'll say printf enter how many products 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 you have purchased. Okay, you have purchased. Now scanf %d comma ampersand of size. See, size is the variable which contains the number of products purchased by a customer. Now what we have to do is we have to keep on reading values into the variable p till the size many times. Means if you enter 5, then we need to read price of 5 products, and if you enter 10, then we need to read the price of 10 products. Okay, so we'll say printf enter price of product. Okay, now here say scanf %d comma ampersand of p. So don't say simply p, say p of. So I'll say p of, and your first value is stored in the array index 0, isn't it? And the next value will be stored in the array of 1. So what I'll do is I'll take the same code, instead of typing I'll say copy and paste, and here price of product, and here I'll say 1, p of 1. Like this, how many statements you have to write? Generally you have to write 100 statements, because if you want to read 100 product prices. And see, this is also not a good programming practice. Why? Because if you write 100 input statements, then you are simply wasting your time. If you look at these two lines clearly, very closely, then everything is static, means everything is fixed. Only the array index changes, right, from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So as it is varying every time, then it's better you can take a variable here in the place of 0. And already you have taken a variable with the name I and simply say here I and repeat these two statements from 0th index to till size minus 1. So here I am introducing for loop. So for I equals to 0, okay, and say I is less than size. Don't say less than or equal to. Why? Because we'll start with 0 and we'll end the loop whenever it reaches to size minus 1. Okay, semicolon and say I plus plus. Put these two statements in floor brackets. Okay, close the floor bracket here. Now see, you are saying enter price of product. Which product? First, second, third, fourth. I want to get a prompt message in that way. Then you simply can say enter price of %d product. So percentage is, that's something but I value I want to display it there. So what is the initial I value? It is 0. So I'll get enter price of 0th product, first product, second product. But enter price of 0th product doesn't look good. So it will good if I say enter price of first product. So what you can do is at the time of displaying, you can simply say I plus 1. The reading part is done. We'll start the loop once again and we'll calculate the bill. So I'll say I equals to 0, I is less than size and say I plus plus. Now bill amount is equal to bill amount plus your P of I, and this is we are generating the bill amount. We are calculating the bill amount. Means in first for loop we are reading price of all the products, and in second for loop each and every product price is added to the bill amount variable. Once this is done, you can say printf /n next bill amount for %d number of products is %d. So in the place of first %d we should get the number of products, and in the place of second %d we should get the total bill amount for those products, and this first %d is replaced by the variable called size, and second %d is replaced by the variable called bill amount. Okay, and after this you can say printf /n. That's nothing but a new line character. Now run this program and see how it generates the output. So it's saying enterprise how many products you have purchased. I'll say 5 products I have purchased. Now it will prompt me enterprise of first product 45 rupees, next 5 rupees, next 100, next 50, and then 10 rupees. 45 plus 5 rupees 50, 50 plus this 100 150, 150 plus this 50 200, 200 plus this 10 210. So from this it is very much clear that our program has given the exact output. In this example we have worked with group of numbers. So this type of array is known as numeric array, and whenever you work with group of characters, then that particular concept is known as character array, and character arrays are also known as strings. As there is no requirement to work with characters in this example, we have not introduced any character array concept. That's something but strings. So if the program logic demands, then we can work with that particular requirement. Okay, so whenever you want to develop a real-time industry standard application, then we have to work with many modules like reading inputs, modifying inputs, deleting unwanted data, generating reports as per the client requirement. Like means for each and every requirement we have to generate a report. Means the application size will grow like anything. So instead of developing the whole application by single person, it is always recommended to assign the module to an expert team. So we can divide the application into different modules based upon the functionality, and each module can be assigned to an expert team. And here the concept of functions will come into picture. Functions are the one of the very important building blocks of an application development. Any programming language you take it, whether it is C or C++ or Java, dividing the application into smaller modules based upon the functionality is the very basic requirement of software development. So I'll explain this particular functions concept in a very simple and easy way, but we'll be continuing with the same example. The example what I have taken, I'll be continuing with the same example. So let me remove this code. Why? Because I'll type each and every line to explain the concept easily. Okay. Now I'll declare two variables to read the price of product 1 and product 2. So I have declared two variables, integer p1 comma p2, and I want to find out the bill amount. So I'll declare one variable with the name BA. So when you are working with functions, we have to remember 3 points. One is the function declaration, second one is the function invocation, and third one is the function definition part. All these 3 things I'll explain you step by step clearly. So when it comes to function declaration part, you are telling C compiler that what kind of function you are going to use. That's nothing but what is the name of the function, what it is going to take as input, and what it is going to return. So I'll give my function name as calc bill. Why? Because I'm going to calculate the bill amount, and for this function I'll pass two integers. So I'll say integer comma integer, and this function is going to return a value. So I'll say return type is integer, and this particular part is known as function declaration. And here I'll say printf enter price of two products. See, I'm going to read the input in one single scanf statement. So I'll say scan of %d comma, here ampersand of p1 is nothing but the first product, and p2, here we are reading the price of second product. See, in earlier examples what we have done is the calculation part we have written in the main program itself. So if the application is small, then it's okay, everything you can write within the main. But whenever the application size grows, means if you want to really develop an industry standard application as per the client requirements, then there will be n number of modules, and for each module based upon the functionality, it is always recommended to work with functions. So functions are the basic building blocks of software development. Remember this point. Now here my input is completed. Now I'll say bill amount is equal to, and my function name is calc bill, and for this calc bill function I am going to pass two input variables. That's nothing but p1 and p2, and this function will calculate the bill. It will return the value, and the returning value of this calc bill function is assigned to a variable called BA. And here I'll say printf /n, the bill amount is, and I'll say %d, and the variable name is BA. Fine. Now we have to define the function. See, I said 3 points. Three points we have to remember while working with function. The first one is the declaration part, second one is the invocation part, and third one is the definition part. So now I am going to define, means I am going to tell what my function is going to do actually. So return type is integer, and calc bill is the function name, and at the time of calling the function, that's nothing but at the time of invoking the function, what are the values you are passing, these two values here, p1 and p2, that you have to receive in some other variable. So here I'll say integer x comma integer y. You can take the variable names as same also, p1 and p2, but in order to avoid the confusion I have taken different variables. So here what's happening, whenever the control comes to line number 12, then immediately it will jump to line number 20 along with the values of p1 and p2 in respectively x and y variables. Fine. Here I'll say simply return, here I can say x plus y, means the addition of x and y is returned to the main program, and that will be your bill amount. Now run this program and see how you get the result. So enter price of two products. we don't have two prompt statements. We have written reading inputs in one single statement. So here only you have to enter like 23 and the price of second product is 12. And this is how it displays the result. The bill amount is 35. Like this, a program can have n number of user defined functions. Here main is one function and calc bill is nothing but another user defined functions. Like a project can have one main function, as I told you in the initial programming, that every C program should have one main function and n number of user defined functions. So here calc bill is a user defined function, and like this calc bill you can write n number of user defined functions. Now I'll give you one scenario, that is every user defined function may not return a value. Means there are some cases where if the application wants to generate two results in the sense, this calc bill function should calculate the bill amount along with the discount also. So now see how many results it's going to produce now, this calc bill. The calc bill is going to produce two results. One is the bill amount and second one is the discount on that bill amount. So two results it's going to produce. And we all know that function returns one and only one value. So if you have that kind of scenario, if you have that kind of requirement, then it is always recommended to pass the variable. That's nothing but see, bill amount is the variable on which we are getting result or not. So what we'll do is we'll pass this bill amount variable to the function itself. We'll pass the bill amount variable to the function itself, and this calculate function will update the value of this variable. So initially I am assigning this bill amount to 0, and as my calc bill function is going to read 3 integers, so I'll say integer comma integer comma integer. As our function is not going to return any value, then we'll say it's returning void. So I've updated my function declaration part. In this case, as it is not returning any value, so I'm not assigning the value to any variable. Next, here also modified to void, and here instead of like along with this integer x y and say integer z. Fine. And here what we can do is z equals to x plus y. Means whatever the value you have in P1, that will be assigned to x. Whatever value you have in P2, that will be assigned to y. Whatever the value you have in BA, that will be assigned to z. Means x is representing P1, y is representing P2, and z is representing BA. That's nothing but bill amount. So when you add x and y, you'll get the value, and that you are assigning to z. So once runs this program and check the output. So here enter price of first product 10, second product 20. Oops, we are expecting here the bill amount as 30, but we are getting the result as 0. Let me explain this one very clearly. This particular concept is known as call by value. Means the value of the variable P1 is assigned to x, value of the variable P2 is assigned to y, and the value of the variable BA is assigned to z. So this is known as call by value. So in call by value, what happens, whatever the updations you are doing for this z variable will remain in the z, and whenever the control goes up to the main program, then the x, y, z variable will be discarded from the memory, because there is a concept of global variables and local variables. Means the life of x, y, z will be within this block. Means till the cursor is calc bill function, then it will maintain the value. The moment the cursor comes out of the calc bill, then all the variables will be removed from the memory. That is the reason we are getting BA variable as 0, as it is initialized to 0 in the beginning. So in order to solve this problem, what we have to do is we have to work at the memory location level. Means we should not update the variable in Z, we should update the variable directly in the BA memory location. So working with memory locations is known as pointers concept, as we all know. So in this calc bill function, the third variable I need to pass the address actually. the third variable, because I want to update the variable's location directly. So I'll say integer star, that's nothing but calc build function is going to read the address of the variable. Next, as you are going to pass the address, then we all know that address is denoted by using ampersand symbol, and addresses are taken in a pointer variable. So here we say z, and you can say here star z equals to x plus y, and this concept is known as pointers. So what do you mean by a pointer? See, pointer is nothing but a variable which stores address of another variable. So in this example, z is known as pointer variable which is going to store the address of ba variable. Now run this program and see what's the output. So my price of first product is 10, second product is 20, and see whether the result is updated or not. We got the result as 30. So how it's happening? See, the value of P1 is taken in X, the value of P2 is taken in Y, address of BA is taken in Z. So what are the updations you do it for Z variable that are directly reflected to the B, though the variable Z is removed from the memory, and this concept is known as call by reference. So in this example, we are implementing call by value as well as the call by reference. Both concepts are implemented in this single example. Let me revise what we have learned till now. See, we have started with introduction to C, in which we have seen theoretically a few concepts about C programming. Then we have started programming concept with sequence programming model. In that sequence programming model, we have seen how all the statements of a program are executed from top to bottom without leaving any of the statement. Then we have seen a programming construct, that's nothing but selections. In selection programming model, only few statements are executed based upon the criteria. And then we have seen looping constructs where the group of statements to be executed for more than one time. So all these three concepts tells about different programming constructs. Then we have seen how to work with large volumes of data. Like if you want to read large volumes of data, then it is always recommended to go with arrays concept. In arrays, we have seen numeric arrays as well as the character arrays. Then whenever the program size increases, then how we can divide that particular application into different modules, and there the concept of functions comes into picture. While working with functions, we may come across in a situation where the function produces more than one result, and we all know that a function cannot return more than one value. So the function should update results in the variables which are passed from the main function, and there the concept of call by reference comes into picture, and call by reference function is implemented through pointers concept. So along with functions, we have seen working with pointers also. Now let's understand a scenario. See, if you want to develop an application for a departmental store where we need to store the details of a product. See, when I say storing details of the product, then we need to read product price, product name, product ID, product batch, product quantity, product description. Lot of details we have to read. Is it clear? Not means if you want to store information about one entity, the one entity, it may be a product, it may be a book, it may be a student, it may be an employee. Means in programming, if you want to store information about one entity, then the entity is identified with different attributes. So for each and every attribute, we have to declare a variable. So to store details of a product, if we use variables, then let's see how the scenario would be. So if you are storing information about a product in variables, then I have given a diagram through which you just try to understand. For example's sake, I am taking only three attributes of a product, like product ID, product name, and product price. Then to store details about one product, you are going to declare three variables, isn't it? And the data will be stored randomly in different locations. Why? Because all the individual variables will be stored in primary memory. So I have declared three variables: product ID, product name, and product price. And all these three variables are going to means collectively store information about one product. And whenever you want to store information about second product, then you are going to declare again three set of variables, means again three variables. Again, if you want to store information about third product, again you are going to declare three variables. Now let's try to understand a scenario. If you want to store information about 10,000 products, why? Because big departmental stores will have that many number of. To store information about 10,000 products, you have to declare 10,000 product ID, 10,000 product names, and 10,000 price variables. And a product is not identified by taking only 3 attributes. There will be n number of variables. So while developing applications for a real-time scenario, and if you work with individual variables, then your application will be too complex, and it is very difficult to manage the application with large volumes of variables. So whenever you want to store large volumes of data, then it is always recommended to go with arrays. That's I said in previous session. So let's understand if we can implement this application by using arrays, like how we can work. This is how the application can be represented using arrays concept. Means we need to deal with 3 arrays. It's in this example, we need to deal with 3 arrays. One is product ID, second one is product name, and third one is the product price. So each array is going to hold information about few items. In this case, I have taken example about 7 products. So we have right from 0th index to till 6th index. Now, if you want to represent an product or a item using n number of attributes, like for example, if you take employee, then to represent employee, I need employee ID, I need name, I need address, I need mobile number, I need mail ID, basic salary, lot of details are required. So for each detail, for each attribute, you need to take an array. So storing of data is okay, but when it comes to retrieval, it is complex issue. How? See, if I want to store information about one product, or if I want to retrieve information about one product, then I have to access product ID array to retrieve the ID. I have to access product name array to retrieve the name. I have to access product price array to access the price. Means to access information about one product, then we have to work with all the arrays of your application based upon their index, and this may cause unusual problems. Like say, for example, I want to retrieve information about second product. So when it comes to information about second product, from PID I need to access information from index of 2. From pre-name I need to access information about p-name of second index. Again, for price, instead of second index, by mistake if I access information about first index, then product ID, product name will be of one item and price will be again from the other one. So there are a lot of practical problems while working with arrays. Means I am not saying that arrays are not good to work. See, every concept is very important, but we have to understand for which scenario our requirement is all about. Our requirement is to store information about one particular item. Means all the attributes which is represented by variables. Means all the variables of a particular item should be grouped under one unit, and this is implemented in C programming by using structures. So what is a structure? See, structure is a variable which can store different data type in C language. Using structures we can declare variables, and using those variables we can store values. Means structure is a user defined data type which integrates, which groups the different types of primitive data types into one unit and creates a new data type. So friends, if you want to store information about a product or a service in group, or if you want to represent a product or a service by using different attributes, then it is always recommended to go with the structures concept only. And all the real-time scenarios, all the real-time applications depends upon structure programming only. So to understand this structures concept, let's take one small example. So I'll use the same example. Means I'll use the same file. I'll remove what we have what programs we have done earlier, this functions program. I'll remove this code. Okay, and freshly I'll type each and every line, okay, step by step explaining related to structures concept. Okay, see, I want to work with products example, so I'll declare one variable like struct products. See, struct products. So struct is nothing but a keyword, and products is nothing but the structure name. And as I said, structures are used to declare user defined data types. So in this, I'll declare PID, that's nothing but product ID. Next, character, here I'll say p name, of 20. Okay, so product name, and then I'll say integer price. Okay, three variables I have declared. So struct products is known as a data type, and for this I need to declare a variable, and here I'll say p is the variable. Now printf, and here I'll say enter product ID. Okay, now read the product ID. Scanf %d comma ampersand of p dot, p is nothing but structure variable name, dot you say PID. Okay, so this is how we read information about structure variables. Now in the same way read printf enter product price. Okay, now say scanf %d comma ampersand of p dot, and here you can just simply press enter key, p name. Okay, next you can say printf enter, sorry, second one is product name na, so let me change here product name. Okay, and third one is product price, so I'll say product price. Fine. Now scanf %d comma ampersand of p dot price. See here I have done some mistake here. Okay, so I have corrected that. Next put semicolon here. Now display the information about all these three items. Say /n, and here I'll say product details. Product details. Say printf /n, and then say product ID. Okay, and the product ID we are displaying in integer, like we have taken integer type, then you can say p dot PID. Okay, then display printf /n product name, then say %s, then comma p dot. So when you say p dot, automatically you'll get the variable name, simply press enter key. Printf /n product, then say price, again %d, here comma p dot, and you can say price, isn't it? Okay, now see we have taken information about three products, and then we have displaying information about three products. You can give underline also if you want to give here /n. Okay, then give underline. Okay, again give /n, so the information will be displayed in the new line, and here also you can give /n, so that the new line will be displayed in the next line. Okay, now run the program and see how it gives the output. See here it's asking about product ID. I'll say 101, then product name, then I'll say pencil. Okay, price I'll say 9 rupees, and press enter key here. See this is how the information is displayed. Now, so what happens if we take individual variables? See, if you take individual variables, all this data will be scattered at different memory locations. Now what's happening? All the data is collectively stored, grouped under one location of the memory. Means using structures we can create group of different data types into one unit. Now the problem with this application is, whenever the program ends, means whenever the program is completed, then immediately the data which is there in the memory is removed, and real-time applications requires the data has to be stored permanently, and here the concept of files comes into pictures. So there are two types of files. One is the text file, and second one is the binary files. Text files is a very basic concept, and as we are working with structures example, and if I want to explain this example in files, then we have to work with binary files concept. So what I'll do is I'll change this program into binary files program, and that will be the introduction to files concept here. Whenever you want to store details about a product or a service in a file, then you have to declare a variable with the name file star and any variable name of your choice. So file is nothing but a predefined macro and which declares a pointer variable for the file type. And I need to keep on reading details, means I need to keep on reading product details from the user. So I'll say here I'll declare one variable, choice variable, saying character ch equals to y, means in ch variable initially I am storing the character y. Now after reading information about a product, we need to store that information into the file. So what I am doing is I am opening a file by using a function called fopen. Fopen takes two parameters. One is the file name. So prod file dot dat, any name you can give of your choice. Here as we are going to store information about products, so I have taken file name as prod, extension as dat because I am going to store data in that. Okay, and the second parameter is the attributes, means a indicates append and b indicates binary mode, means every time whenever I am going to store new data, that has to be appended to the existing file. And fopen function returns a file pointer that I am assigning to fp variable. Now as we want to read data continuously, then you can say while ch is equal to y, start the bracket, enter product id, we are reading the product details, then enter product name and enter product price. Now you can close the brackets here. Sorry, no, don't close it here. Okay, fine. We are not going to display any information about this product here. Displaying, we'll put it in another example. So I'll just remove this. And after reading information about first product, immediately what I want to do is I want to write these details into a file. So to open the function is fopen. To write the product details to a file, we have a function called fwrite, and it takes 4 parameters. The first parameter is ampersand of p, that's nothing but the address of your product variable, right from the first byte address, right from the base address to. Size of is a function which calculates the total size of the product variable, because in that p variable we have product id, product name and product price. So the total size is calculated by the size of function, and we will say one time we want to write to the fp variable. Fp is indicating the location where the file is created at your secondary storage device, that's something but in the hard disk. Okay, now I'll say printf and /n and do you want to continue, okay. Now say fflush std in, because while reading characters we have to flush the memory, so fflush, and here instead of scanf I can use getChar function. So getChar function also reads a character from the user. Now run this program and check how it works, and before we run just close this while loop bracket, okay, and run your program. See, it's asking product ID. I'll say product ID is 901. Okay, and product name I'll say kites, and product price I'll say 45 rupees. And then it'll ask me, do you want to continue? I'll say yes. When I say yes, it'll ask me, and I'll say 902 is the product ID, and jars is the product name, and product price is 98 rupees. Okay, so this is how I'm going to store information about two products, and when you say do you want to continue, I'll say no this time, and immediately your program will be stopped. Okay, now if you want to see where this file is stored, which file, the file in which we are going to store these details, means product information, so it is stored in the file product file.dat. If you want to check whether the product file.dat is created or not, then first observe in which location your program is running. Your programming is running in D drive, user folder, hello.c is the file name. Now what you can do is simply go to D drive /user folder, okay, and there you will see the file name product file.dat. File is there or not? Is it clear? Now if you try to open this file, you can't see any information, but still you can try to open this file by using notepad. So notepad, here I'm opening this file. but you can't see any information here because the information is stored in a binary format. Then how to read this information, how to check what is stored in this product file? So we have to write one more program that takes care of reading details, from the product file. So now I'll show you one more program which reads details about this particular application. Okay, now what you can do is you can use the same program and you can say save as, and here I'll say read.c. Don't forget to give .c extension, otherwise your program won't work. So this is my read.c. I need to do some modifications, okay, because 90% of the code is same, one and the same. So I need the same structure as it is. I need the same structure variable. I need the same file pointer variable as it is. But here I'm not going to enter number of products, so I don't require this character ch variable. So I'll remove this. Now I require the fopen function, but I don't want to append data to the file. I want to read data from the file. So second change here, I'll say RB. R indicates read mode and B indicates the binary mode. Okay. Now we'll see how we can read data. So to read data, say fread is the function which reads data from the file, and this fread function put inside a bracket. Now I'll explain this from right to left. The parameters I'll explain right to left. See, I want to read data from the file pointer, so I'll say fp. How many records you want to read? I want to read only one record. What is the size of record? So as I don't know, I'll say size of p. Okay, that I want to read. Next, where you want to store? I want to store in address of p. So this is okay. So fread function is going to return one value. So I'll say I want to keep on reading details till the details are available. So we'll say equal to 1. 1 indicates true. Okay. Now once we read the data we have to display it onto the screen. So whatever the code you have written, that everything you just remove it. Because the lines are simple. I'll just type it here. Here we'll say printf bracket start /n, then say product ID %d comma here p dot, and you'll see PID. Next you can say printf /n and say product name and say %s comma p dot p name. Then say /n product price, and price we are displaying in integer, so %d, okay, and then say p dot price. Now this is how your while loop looks, and what I want to do is, before we display these details, I want to display heading saying that printf /n product details. Okay, again /n. Then I want to display one underline. So I'll say again /n. Fine. Then one underline I'll give, and the next information should be displayed in the new line. So again I'll say /n. Okay, and semicolon. Now run the program and see how you get the output. Sorry, quotations are missing. Okay, and what are the products information we have entered, like product price, product ID. See, product ID 1, product ID 2. These two product details are entered earlier, so it's displaying that data also. And today's, if you say product ID 901 and the product ID 902, both are displayed very clearly. So this is, friends, the learning of complete C language in one single video tutorial. Hope you like this. So please do subscribe to our channel for more future videos, and soon we are going to start the complete C programming video tutorial series. Each and every concept will be explained in detail. Thank you so much, and bye bye.